Hey guys, so I just wanted to make this video for you guys today, and it's just about something that's happened to me in the last week or so, and it's something that was very impactful on my life, and so there's a story behind it that I'll go ahead and share with you guys. But the overall lesson was just that whatever you focus on in your life is how your life unfolds. It's how the pathways that are available to you that seem like logical decisions are ultimately based on what you choose to focus on. And because if you focus on cattle ranching, the aspects of how cattle ranching can be improved and how it can just be more automated or more healthy, and see, all of those different options are available once you go into cattle ranching. But so that's how everything is in your life. It's everything. Every decision that you make is ultimately determined by how you feel and what's going through your head when you made the decision before to get you to the place where you're at now. So, anyways, the story, I guess, was that I was at a party with some friends, and we were having fun, just talking and meeting new people and doing things that you do at a party. Nothing too extravagant, but it was a party. And so we hang out, and then all of a sudden I see this guy that I know. Um, I hadn't seen him in a long, long time, but I recognized him, and he came over to talk to us, and everything was good at first. I mean, he was just talking about what all he had been doing since I'd last seen him, and didn't seem like anything bad. But I was looking at him, and I could tell just by looking at him he was looking very unhealthy. He didn't appear to be doing very well in life. I mean, all the things that he was talking about were kind of just depressing, stressful situations, and you could see in his eyes, his eyes were sunk in his head, and the skin on his face was really thin and was tight, and you could just tell that he wasn't just trying to figure this stuff out, or that he wasn't just letting it go. Like, he was definitely doing something to alter his state so that he didn't have to think about those sort of things. But so while I'm noticing all the things that he's talking about, and I'm taking note of how he appears to be, um, eventually he starts bringing up the subject of like really hard drugs, like crack, um, heroin, something called Roxy's. I don't know what that is, but that doesn't sound very appealing. And then meth, of course. I mean, to top it all off, I mean, the worst of the worst. Um, so, anyways, while he's talking about all of these certain things, there's a movie playing in the background that everyone else is paying attention to. And it was like one of the Scream movies. It was more of like a stupid scary movie. It wasn't exactly funny, but it wasn't very gory, and it wasn't very extremely suspenseful. It was a movie that uh, really just almost have a conversation with your friends and who are watching the movie while it's happening. It's not one of those movies that just sucks you in. But so I am sitting in the exact middle where I'm looking to my right, and I'm seeing this guy talking about extremely hard drugs, and just talking about how awesome they are, and how they make you feel so great that whenever you leave the room and go do them, when you come back you'll be stumbling in, and oh god, it was crazy. Then on my left, I have this scary movie that's playing, and it's kind of freaky, but at the same time it's not like super duper scary. But So I'm going back and forth because I have my group of friends that are watching the movie, and then I have my group of friends that are talking to this guy. And my friends aren't necessarily talking to this guy because they want to. It's just because he's sort of in the way of the movie. So they kind of didn't have an option but to just, take his information in. And eventually, they got up and left. But it was just going back and forth with paying attention to this movie and paying attention to this guy. Both of them are quite freaky in this situation. I mean, there just didn't seem to be any good vibes no matter where I was looking. I mean, all of my friends that I really wanted to talk to were watching this movie, and it was just they seemed to be to themselves a lot. They didn't seem to be very very open. I guess hard to explain. But and then there's this guy who's kind of freaking me out. But so while I'm going back and forth, it seems like I'm catching the worst of both sides. I mean, I'm not necessarily being ignored by my friends over here, but I will have to put myself in their way to be able to, I guess, communicate with them, because they're focused on their group who's watching the movie. And whenever I'm talking to this guy, he's trying to grab my attention so that I can, perhaps be influenced to do drugs and just stuff that I don't want to do. But it was just crazy because every time that I switched my attention from one to another, I would catch the movie at an extremely just scary part, I guess, where the Scream guy, with his mask on, had a knife, and he's following this girl around, and he's like just going after her with his knife, and whenever that freaks me out, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna just do something else, and that something else was paying attention to this guy who's trying to influence me to do drugs, and I'm like, wait, what's going on? This is not, this is not, this is not how things are supposed to be. I mean, this is information. The only information that I was taking in, no matter where I looked, seemed to be just terrible. And after a while, I began to realize that the only reason that movie was really freaking me out was because of the fact that I was catching it on and off. I wasn't paying attention to the movie the whole time, because if I did, there are subtle cues and little hints inside the movie in certain scenes that kind of mellow it out so that it's not so just I don't know, just very creepy. And I missed those scenes. I missed those points. So whenever I watched the movie, the only parts that I really caught were the parts that were like, oh my god, this is crazy. Like, what's going on? And I would freak out, and I'd be like, I can't do this anymore. I have to go do something else. And then I would talk to this guy who's trying to tell me about drugs. So like, I just knew that something was going on, and that my vibe in this room, with all these people, is just not great. And so I just dug deep within myself. I sort of just looked down and kind of closed my eyes and just started thinking, and then I just what I did next was that I just got in the way of one of my friends at the movie, who was watching the movie, and I just slapped his hand, just was like, dude, like, I mean, I just told him something that made him feel really good. I told him that I really, really, really liked his music, and that he had the chance to do something really great with it, because I genuinely believed in that. And he could sense that whenever I said it to him. He was like, yeah, dude, I mean, that was, I could see a smile on his face, and his eyes were, just squinted from smiling, because he was just feeling the vibe that I was sending to him. And I guess, like, I just changed the focus. I mean, everyone in the room was either watching this movie, or they were paying attention to this guy. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to be a part of either one of these. I'm just going to create my own sort of reality. And that reality that I created was just of love and just, you know, just being a great friend and having, you know, a happy sort of conversation going on, because I needed it. It seemed like I was going into the depths of hell with every, you know, way that I looked. There was no good option. So it just made me realize, that whole experience just made me realize that no matter what's going on in front of you and what you're paying attention to, ultimately it comes down to what you choose to focus on. And you can choose to not focus on either of those things, or you can choose to not focus on any of the information that's going on, and instead to create information for other people to focus on, which in my case was exactly what I did, because I knew that I would create positive information. I would create, you know, a positive sort of loving influence that you know, I could at least give to one other person, but you know, other people around who were listening to what I was saying was catching my vibe, because they could see how, you know, genuine and serious I was about what I was saying, and what he was responding back to me. So I guess, you know, to conclude this video, guys, you know, the message that I just want to bring to you is just that, you know, don't focus on things that you feel are not leading you in a great direction. Sometimes you don't really have an option to focus on, you know, what information to pick from, because everything that's available just kind of sucks, and either way that you go just doesn't seem like to be awesome. And in those cases, I feel like it's your obligation to yourself in the future to create a situation in the present moment where you feel better, where you're moving in a direction that you want to move in, even if it means no one else is included at first. Even if it means it's coming 100% from you, you need to be able to do that, because otherwise you're going to be at the mercy of whoever is giving you attention that you desire, or whoever is entertaining for whatever reason. You're going to be distracted by that, and that information is going to pass through your brain subconsciously, and you won't really have anything to do about it other than to just, you know, take that information in. And so anyways, guys, like, you know, just choose within yourself to make a difference. Choose within yourself to do something different than what's going on in this moment right now, because ultimately in life, all that you really have, I mean, for your entire existence is yourself. I mean, there isn't going to be anyone who's going to be there for you from start to finish. I mean, as much as we would love for that person to be there, you know, like our mom, that's just not how it's going to be. So, god dang it.